There's a moment when the alarm goes off, and before your feet even touch the floor, a quiet sentence flashes through your mind. I can't do this. Your chest feels heavy, your stomach is tight. You stare at the ceiling and scroll your phone, not because you want to, but because you're trying to delay the day just a little bit longer. On the outside, nothing looks dramatic. You get up, you shower, you make coffee. Maybe you even throw in a joke on your way out the door. But inside, there's a quiet stream of phrases you barely notice anymore. I'm behind. I always mess this up. Other people handle life better than me. The words feel true, not because they are, but because you've repeated them so many times. Later, you open social media and see someone talking about affirmations. Just tell yourself you're worthy. Repeat, I am confident. I am successful. And part of you wants to believe that, but another part rolls its eyes and thinks, yeah, right, saying it won't make it real. So you go back to your day, carrying the same sentences in your head, like background music, quietly shaping how you move through the world, without you even noticing how powerful they actually are. That quiet background soundtrack doesn't just show up in the morning, it shows up everywhere. In a romantic relationship, your partner takes a little longer to reply to a text. On the surface, you think, they're probably busy. But underneath, another line starts playing. They're losing interest. I'm too much. I always end up alone. Your body reacts before you even realize what you're thinking. Your chest gets tight, your heart beats faster, and suddenly you're reading their last message 5 times, looking for proof that something is wrong. At work, you're asked to share your ideas in a meeting. You have thoughts, you have opinions, but then the old inner voice steps in. Don't say anything stupid. You're not as smart as them. Just stay quiet. So you sit there, nodding along, while your mind quietly repeats a script you never chose. And later, you beat yourself up for not speaking. In your family, maybe you're the one who always holds it together. You're the reliable one, the calm.
The one who says it's fine, even when it's not. Inside, though, sentences like, my feelings don't matter. I'm being dramatic. I should be grateful. Keep you from saying what you really need. You keep smiling, and the people around you never see how exhausted you are. Then there's the alone time, those late-night moments when you lie in bed, the lights are off, and there are no distractions left. That's when the affirmations you've been repeating for years show up in full volume. Not the positive ones from Pinterest, the quiet, harsh ones like, I'm failing, I'm behind, something is wrong with me. You might not call them affirmations, but they are. They are phrases you affirm about yourself over and over until they feel like facts. From the outside, you look functional. Inside, you live in a world shaped by sentences. This pattern usually doesn't begin with you sitting down and deciding, I'm going to speak to myself in a painful way. It starts much earlier, often when you're too young to question the words you're hearing. A girl hears, don't get your hopes up, you'll just be disappointed. She watches a parent talk about themselves, always downplaying, always expecting the worst. She picks up the idea that hope is dangerous, confidence is arrogant, and wanting more is too much. So she starts repeating to herself, I shouldn't reach too high. People like me don't get that far. By the time she's an adult, it feels safer to expect the worst than to affirm anything good. A boy is told, stop crying, you're fine, toughen up. Whenever he feels scared or hurt, the reaction around him says, this is not okay, push it down. So he starts silently affirming, my feelings are a problem, I'm weak if I show them. As a man, when life gets heavy, he doesn't tell anyone. On the outside, he looks steady. On the inside, the sentence, handle it alone, plays on repeat. Culture plays a role too. You might grow up surrounded by messages that say, success means constant productivity. Rest is lazy. Your worth is your achievements. Even if nobody says those lines directly to you, you see them in ads, in school, in social media. You start to affirm them.
Without even noticing, if I'm not accomplishing something, I'm falling behind. Over time, the brain learns from repetition. Every thought you repeat is like walking the same path through a field of tall grass. The first time, it's hard to push through. The 10th time, it gets easier. The 100th time, there's a clear trail. This is where the science behind affirmations comes in. The brain literally strengthens connections for thoughts that are repeated often, especially when emotions are involved. Psychologists sometimes talk about self-schema, or the way you organize beliefs about who you are. In simple words, it's the inner picture of yourself that your mind keeps referring back to. Affirmations, whether positive or negative, feed that picture. They are not magic spells, but they are ingredients. When you keep saying, "I'm stupid, I'm unlovable, I always mess up," your brain starts treating those sentences like a base layer of truth. When you consciously practice different affirmations, over time, you're offering the brain new options, new paths in that field of grass. It's not about lying to yourself, it's about recognizing that your inner script was never neutral in the first place. You've been practicing affirmations for years, just not the kind that help you. So, how does this show up now, in the day-to-day? In the workplace, imagine a conflict with a coworker. They send a short email that says, "We need to talk about your part of the project." Your body tenses. Your mind instantly fills in the blanks. "I must have done something wrong. I'm in trouble. I'm not good at this." By the time the meeting happens, you're already defensive or ashamed. You might over-explain, apologize too much, or shut down. Not because of what they actually said, but because of the affirmations you've quietly repeated about your competence for years. In romantic relationships, affirmations shape how loved you feel, even when love is present. Your partner says, "I'm going out with friends tonight." On the surface, it's simple. But if your long-term inner script is, "I'm not enough, people always leave," then the sentence that floats up is, "They'd rather be anywhere but with me." You might start a fight, get clingy, or go cold. Later, you might think, "Why did I react like that? Why does this bother me so much?" The answer is often, because it touched an old affirmation about your worth. In family dynamics, maybe you're the one who always fixes things. Whenever there's tension, your inner voice says, "It's my job to keep everyone okay. If they're upset, I failed." So you step in, smooth things over, swallow your own feelings. On the outside, you look helpful. On the inside, there might be resentment, exhaustion, and a quiet line that says, "My needs come last." In friendships, affirmations show up in tiny moments. A friend cancels plans, and your brain fills in, "Of course, I'm not a priority." Someone doesn't text back right away, and your script jumps to, "I'm annoying, I shouldn't reach out so much." You start pulling away, not because your friends don't care, but because your inner affirmations train you to see proof that you don't matter. Then there's your inner dialogue and self-talk, the place where affirmations live most clearly. You spill coffee and you hear, "I'm so stupid." You forget a deadline and you think, "Typical me." You look in the mirror and automatically say, "I look terrible," sometimes out loud, almost like a habit. These sentences may seem small, but they shape your emotional climate. They keep your nervous system in a low-level state of threat, as if you are constantly in danger of being exposed as not enough. Over time, the cost of staying stuck in these unexamined affirmations adds up. You feel tired all the time, not just in your body, but in your spirit. You notice repeating patterns in relationships, jobs, and choices, and you think, "Why do I keep ending up here?" There is often a sense of being disconnected from yourself, like you're acting out a role instead of living as who you really are. The more you ignore the script, the stronger it seems to run the show. Here's a shift that can change everything. Affirmations, especially the painful ones, are not just problems to crush, they are information. If you always find yourself thinking, "I'm not safe to be myself," that thought is pointing to something. Maybe there were times when you were punished, mocked, or rejected for being who you are. The affirmation is trying to protect you, even if it hurts you now. Think of anger, for example. If your inner line is, "I'm not allowed to be angry," then the affirmation you live by becomes, "Keep the peace at all costs." Yet anger can be a clear signal. Something is not okay. A boundary is being crossed. When you affirm, "My anger is wrong," you miss the information that could help you protect yourself. Jealousy is another one. The usual script might be, "I'm a bad person for feeling this," or "I'm insecure." But jealousy can be a signal of desire. It might be pointing to something you deeply want but haven't allowed yourself to go after. Instead of trying to delete jealousy, you can listen to what it's trying to show you. Even numbness has a message. If your inner tone is flat, no excitement, no sadness, just whatever, that's not proof that you don't care. It may be a sign that you're overloaded, that your system has shut down as a last way of coping. The affirmation might sound like, "It's easier not to feel," but underneath it is a need for rest, safety, and gentler pacing. The goal is not to fix yourself by forcing only happy, shiny lines into your brain. It's about integration, letting your affirmations become more honest, more balanced, more compassionate. Instead of denying that you feel scared, insecure, or tired, you honor it, and you add new, truer sentences beside it. Everyone has a version of this work. No one does it perfectly, but you can shift from being ruled by unseen phrases to choosing the way you speak to yourself on purpose. So how do you actually do this in real life? Let's walk through some practical steps. Name your inner script. Why it helps? You can't change an inner affirmation you're not aware of. Naming it brings it from the shadows into the light, where you have choice. How to do it? Once a day, pause during a strong emotional moment. Annoyance, fear, shame, excitement. Ask yourself, what sentence is running through my mind right now? Write it down exactly as it appears, even if it feels harsh or silly. For example, you send a
message and don't get a quick reply. You feel a wave of anxiety. You stop and ask, what am I secretly saying to myself? Maybe it's, I'm being too needy, or they're ignoring me on purpose. That's your affirmation. Seeing it on paper lets you step back and say, oh, this is the script I've been repeating. What feels difficult? Sometimes the sentences are painful to admit. You might feel embarrassed or think, I shouldn't think like this. When that happens, remind yourself, you're not bad for having the thought. You're just finally hearing what's been there for a long time. Write what you didn't say. Why it helps. Unspoken feelings often turn into harsh affirmations. Expressing them gives that energy somewhere to go instead of turning inward against you. How to do it? Take a notebook or a blank document. Think of a recent moment where you felt small, dismissed, or misunderstood. Write a letter you will never send, starting with, what I wanted to say was. Let yourself be honest, even messy. For example, your boss criticized your work in front of others. You stayed calm, but inside you heard, I'm incompetent. In your letter, you might write, what I wanted to say was, that really hurt. I'm trying hard. I need feedback, but not like this. As you write, notice what new affirmations want to appear, like, my feelings matter, or I deserve respect. What feels difficult? Part of you might say, this is pointless. Writing won't change anything. In those moments, remember, you're not doing this to change the other person. You're doing it to change the way you speak to yourself about the experience. You're letting a more honest, kinder voice have a turn. The one level deeper check-in. Why it helps. Most of us live on the surface. I'm fine, it's whatever, I'm just tired. Going one level deeper gently shifts your affirmations from vague to truthful. How to do it? Once a day, either alone or with someone you trust, ask, if I go one level deeper then I'm fine, what's really here? You're not digging for trauma, just one step beyond the usual answer. For example, a friend asks how you are, and you start with, I'm okay, just busy. Then you pause and maybe only in your head. One level deeper. I feel lonely, and I'm scared that admitting it makes me weak. A new affirmation can meet that feeling. It's okay to need people. Needing connection doesn't make me weak. What feels difficult? It can feel risky to tell the truth, especially to someone else. If it's too much to say out loud, start by writing it. You don't have to go from I'm fine to full vulnerability overnight. Just one small layer at a time. Small boundaries, simple words. Why it helps. Without boundaries, your affirmations often become, my needs don't matter, or I have to please everyone. Practicing small boundaries gives you new inner lines like, I'm allowed to take up space. How to do it? Choose one small area where you usually say yes automatically. It might be staying late at work, answering messages instantly, or always agreeing to last-minute plans. Next time, experiment with a short, clear no or not this time, without a long explanation. Example: a coworker asks, "Can you take this on too?" Your old script says, "Say yes or they'll think you're lazy." Instead, you answer, "I can't take that on this week." Later, you might reinforce the new affirmation. I'm responsible, and I'm allowed to know my limits. What feels difficult? Guilt will probably show up. Your brain might yell, "You're selfish." They'll be mad. When that happens, offer yourself a balancing affirmation. Disappointing someone once in a while doesn't make me bad. It makes me human. 5-minute quiet check-in. Why it helps? Constant distraction keeps old affirmations running on autopilot. Short, intentional quiet time lets you actually hear what's going on and gently adjust it. How to do it? Set a timer for just 5 minutes. Sit or lie down somewhere you won't be disturbed. No phone, no TV, no noise if you can help it. Close your eyes and notice your body. Your jaw, shoulders, chest, stomach. Then ask, what am I telling myself about my life right now? You might hear, I'm behind, or I'm failing as a partner, or I'm not doing enough. Don't argue yet. Just listen. Then offer one small, realistic affirmation back. Like, I'm doing what I can with what
I have, or it's okay that I'm not where I thought I'd be yet. What feels difficult? Silence can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to numbing out with your phone, shows, or noise. If 5 minutes feels like too much, start with 2. The goal is not to feel peaceful. The goal is to actually meet yourself where you are. A weekly no practice. Why it helps? This is a structured way to rewrite affirmations around people-pleasing, fear of rejection, and over-responsibility. How to do it? Once a week, choose one situation where you would normally say yes out of habit, not genuine desire. Plan ahead that this is your no for the week. It could be a social invite you're too drained for, an extra favor, or a call you don't have space for. When the moment comes, respond with a simple, I can't this time, or I need to rest tonight, and then stop. No long apology, no over-explaining. Afterward, notice what affirmation tries to barge in. Maybe, they'll hate me, or I'm letting everyone down. Gently introduce a new one. Saying no sometimes helps me show up more fully when I say yes. What feels difficult? At first, this practice can spike anxiety. You might want to send a second message explaining more. Instead, see if you can ride the wave of discomfort. You're teaching your nervous system that you can survive someone else's mild disappointment. Imagination work with younger you. Why it helps? Many of your current affirmations started when you were young. Going back in your mind allows you to update those old lines with the compassion you didn't get then. How to do it? Find a quiet moment. Close your eyes and picture a younger version of yourself at an age when things felt hard, maybe 6, 10, 15. Imagine where they are, a bedroom, a school bus, a kitchen table. Notice their posture, face, and emotions. Then ask, what is this younger me affirming about themselves right now? Maybe they're thinking, I'm annoying, I'm too sensitive, or I have to be perfect. Now imagine sitting beside them as your current self. Gently offer new words. You're not too much. You're allowed to feel. You don't have to earn love by being perfect. You don't have to force yourself to fully believe it yet. You're simply planting new sentences in a place that never had them. What feels difficult? This can bring up grief or sadness. You might feel silly or like you're making things up. That's okay. Treat it as an emotional exercise, not a test. Your brain is very responsive to imagery and emotion. This is one way of speaking directly to it. Over time, as you work with affirmations in this way, life doesn't become flawless, but it does feel different. You start to notice small shifts. You still have the thought, I always mess things up, but instead of swallowing it whole, you catch it. You say, there's that old sentence again, and you add, I'm learning. One mistake doesn't define me. You feel just enough distance from the thought to choose how you respond. In relationships, you might still feel jealousy, fear, or insecurity, but instead of immediately attacking yourself or your partner, you can say, okay, this hurts. What is this feeling trying to tell me? You might have a more honest conversation, like, I care about you a lot, and sometimes I get scared of losing you. The inner affirmation quietly shifts from, I'm too much, to, my needs are valid and I can share them.
At work, you might still get nervous before speaking in a meeting. Your heartbeat still picks up. But the inner script evolves from "don't say anything" to "I can contribute even if I'm nervous." You speak once, then again, and each time reinforces a new path in that field of grass in your mind. Some relationships become deeper. When your affirmations about yourself grow kinder, you naturally gravitate toward people who support that tone, and you show up more honestly. Other relationships fade or change, especially with people who only knew you as the one who always says yes or always shrinks. New connections appear, often with people who are also trying to live more consciously. Inside, there is less fear of being found out. You feel less like you're pretending to be okay, and more like you're allowed to be a mixed, real human, confident and insecure, brave and scared, hopeful and unsure. You stop chasing the idea of reaching some final version of
yourself who never thinks a negative thought again. Instead, you build trust in your ability to meet whatever comes up with more awareness and compassion. This is ongoing work. There isn't a finish line where you never feel self-doubt again. But slowly, your inner world becomes a place that supports you instead of attacking you. You begin to experience what it's like when affirmations are not just empty phrases you say in the mirror, but living sentences that grow out of how you treat yourself day after day. So imagine that opening scene again, the alarm going off, the heavy chest, the urge to hide from the day. The old script still tries to play. I can't do this, I'm already behind, what's the point? But now you recognize it. You pause for a moment before you grab your phone. You whisper, maybe out loud, maybe just in your mind, "I'm tired, and that's okay. I've survived every day so far. I can take today one step at a time." You sit up. Your body still feels heavy, but there's a tiny bit more space in your ribcage. You make your coffee. You catch yourself thinking, "Everyone else is doing better than me." And instead of letting it bury you, you add, "I don't actually know their story. I'm allowed to move at my pace." You're not pretending everything is amazing. You're not forcing a fake smile in the mirror repeating, "I am perfect," when you don't believe it. You're doing something much more powerful. You're being honest about the hard parts and still choosing to speak to yourself with respect. Affirmations are not a curse you've been stuck with, and they're not a magic trick to erase pain. They are one of the ways you relate to yourself. When you approach them consciously, they become a compass, showing you where you still hurt, where you still long for more, and where you are finally beginning to believe you are enough. As you go back into your day after this video, you don't have to overhaul your entire inner world overnight. You can start with one small choice. Notice one sentence you say to yourself, and gently offer it a kinder, truer version. Not to erase the old one, but to stand beside it. Over and over, word by word, you build a quieter, stronger home inside your own mind. Thank you for staying with this video until the end. If you'd like more gentle, psychology-based tools for self-awareness and growth, you're welcome to subscribe and stick around for future videos. And if you feel comfortable, share in the comments. Which inner sentence or affirmation from your own life felt most familiar as you listened today?